Yeah.
Would you taxidermy your cat? Some people are taxidermying their pets so they don't have to get rid of them.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps. I'm Mac.
I'm Jubes.
And today we are talking about cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. It's kind of spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, the brain. It's a psychology episode.
Yeah. Because we do psychology here.
Mind, body, spirit. Am I right?
Am I right, ladies?
Oh. For life updates, I recently saw a job that I could possibly go work wellness retreats in France. And I am going to apply for that because that's really exciting.
It is so exciting and just right up your alley.
Oh, it's partly remote, and she wants to work with someone long term. Mm-hmm. And so this becomes a long term thing where I spend time in Canada and then go for these retreats for, I don't know, 10 days.
Do you think it's like you're only there for the retreat, or are you there for like a week or so before setting up for the retreat and then a week or so after the retreat?
Yeah, possibly, whatever it is.
Or do you have to like then move to France?
Either way,
there's no downsides.
I'm open to the idea overall.
That would be sick.
Which, I mean, yeah, if that ends up happening, of course, that'd be a different thing for the podcast. It would just be different. We wouldn't be in person. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that would. I think
it'd be super fun.
It's exciting, whatever. Like regardless, because right now it's part remote and then part in person. So
I think that'd be sick.
I would love to do nutrition plans at wellness retreats in southern France. So yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Just checking Michaela's boxes.
Yeah,
literally.
honestly. Nutrition, travel.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, literally.
Like wellness
retreat in the south of France. Okay.
How more Michaela could it get?
Literally. I didn't know that's how you spelled Michaela.
WRITSF. Michaela.
Have you seen the TikTok of the little boy spelling Nutella? He goes, Nutella. And the mom's like, what does that spell? He's like, peanut butter. I love it. I died.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So good.
Oh. What about you, Jubes? What's up? What's new?
Oh, I'm just loving the stay-at-home girlfriend life. Today, I cleaned our house because, I just had a morning and I didn't really have anything to do. So I just, vacuumed and cleaned. And I figured out where I need cleaning products, which is just so mundane. But I was like...
That's something you've been missing, right?
Yeah, something that I've wanted to do is just, because, still new house, still just figuring out where things need to go. Yeah. And so, it was just kind of nice. And I've got a dry spot on my arm because I was cleaning the oven at work before I quit, and I was cleaning with Vim, and then it just got on my skin, but I just kept cleaning, and there's just a little dry piece. And it's not visually dry or anything, it just feels a little dry, and the only reason I would notice it is because I am a hypochondriac. And it said, don't get it on your skin. Yeah. And I tried not to, but when you're wiping up with gloves and it's just running down your arm and you're just this is fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was delightful.
So fun.
But it doesn't hurt. It's not red or anything. It's just kind of dry. Huh. So I think if I just put lotion on it, and it's not a patch of eczema or anything. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Well, that's my life update.
Housewife eczema, check.
Literally.
Job opportunity in France.
I got the best of both worlds. I used to have a Hannah Montana CD. Yeah. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, Graylin started singing one of the songs from there. That's funny. And I was like, wow, I really tortured you, huh?
At work, one of the our coworker, she was connected to the music, and that song came on.
Oh, really?
Her shuffle. So we're playing Hannah Montana at the coffee shop.
While it was open?
Yeah. Yeah. No, she was like, she played songs like Club Can't Handle Us.
Oh my gosh,
Club Can't
I love
even
that.
handle me right now. That one. And then Hannah Montana, and then some like old Gwen Stefani and Fergie. It is like a pop throwback
just
mix.
Like, yeah, shuffling
is,
her favorites.
For reference, I love.
Oh yeah.
Very much not the vibe of the coffee shop, but also not a vibe I'm willing to be like, yeah, no. Because we have Eminem on the coffee shop owner's iPod.
I Like Big Butts.
Yeah.
On a playlist we played all the time, and we usually have it so quiet that I didn't even notice that was a song on there for like 8 months.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can put the best of both worlds on there. Go off.
Literally, we've had no complaints about the music that we play. But yeah, I don't know. That's funny.
I was like, this is hilarious.
That's so good. Well, he has Ariel songs on there, like Little Mermaid.
Okay, because he's a soundtrack.
And like I would put that playlist on, and I was like, wait a second, this is Mamma Mia. And then I was like, oh my gosh, wait a second, this is the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Anyways, I guess we'll get into it.
Cognitive dissonance.
So, what is it? First of all, if I say dissidence, forgive me. I don't know what it is about dissonance, but for me, I always think there needs to be another D.
Another D. Do you say drowned? Or when they drowned?
I don't say dad did.
Okay, good. I make fun of my sister for doing that all the time. Drives me up the wall.
I say when they drowned.
Yeah, when they drowned.
But I don't know. For whatever reason, dissonance has to be dissidence in my brain. So
interesting. Well, what does dissidence mean?
It's a good question. I don't even know if it's a word.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Dissodance.
Diss. What was that?
Dissodance.
Dance. No, it's not a word. It just like show results for dissonance.
Yeah. So I know I think it's always.
Oh, it's a song. It doesn't look like a good one. Dissidence. It's probably like Dissodance.
Yeah.
By the artist Dissonance.
Interesting. Well, I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know why. Every time I've heard that word, I always thought there was a D in it. And then I look at it and I'm like, nope, that's very wrong. And it's one of those things I just can't shake. Okay. 4 years of psychology and I just can't shake it.
Okay, fair enough.
So if I accidentally say dance, forgive me. Okay. So what is cognitive dissonance? It's the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. And so American psychologist Leon Festinger first developed the concept of cognitive dissonance in the 1950s. He proposed that two ideas can be
consonant.
There we go. Can be consonant or dissonant. Consonant ideas flow logically from one to another, while dissonant ideas oppose one another. So then, in 1959, Festinger and Carl Smith created a study to prove Festinger's theory on cognitive dissonance. So the method of this study started with participants were asked to carry out a series of monotonous tasks that were meant to be boring and nonsensical. So a lot of them were moving pegs up and down. And it was just, things that you don't want to do, but you're being told to do this task.
Right, okay.
And it's not anything mentally stimulating or exhilarating by any...
It's just very monotonous.
Yeah. It's I don't know, if you have a chessboard in front of you, you're not playing chess. You're moving one pawn up and moving it back. Moving it back up, moving it back.
Oh, okay.
And you're supposed to do that over an extended period of time. This one involved pegs, but...
All right.
Yeah, and so the participants were divided into two groups. Group A provided no introduction regarding the task they'll be performing. Group B was given an introduction by the experimenter, presenting the tasks in an interesting and enjoyable tone.
Okay.
Then they were paid either $1 or $20 to tell others that the task was fun.
Oh, I've heard about this study.
And so that's the independent variable.
Okay.
Everyone was given $1 or $20. The dependent variable was how enjoyable the participant found the task after the lie.
Oh, okay. So they would pay someone else either $1 or $20, and then the person who got paid would then go in
to the group after them and whatnot and say, oh my God, this was so fun.
Right. Okay.
Or this is the opposite. So the results of this is that those who were paid $1 rated the activity as positive, while those who were paid $20 gave it a rating as negative. Because the $20, like the cognitive dissonance explanation of this is that those who were paid $1 were forced to rationalize their own judgments and convince themselves that what they were doing was enjoyable because they had no other justification for doing it.
Right.
Whereas on the other hand, those with the $20 used the money as their justification for carrying out the task.
Okay.
Like, oh, this was boring, but I got $20 out of it.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, this is boring, but you only got $1 out of it. Well, I might as well make the lie and follow through and pretend like, oh yeah, like, I had a great time.
It has to be fun. I only got paid $1 for it, and I actually did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's where the whole idea of the conflicting, the state of having inconsistent thoughts and beliefs or attitudes, especially related to behavioral decisions.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, basically cognitive dissonance is just where, like, your beliefs don't align with your behaviors, and that causes you mental discomfort.
Mm-hmm. But that was, but this was their study of kind of proving that theory, that people are so willing to do behaviors that are inconsistent with their beliefs.
Yeah.
Just because, or if they had the monetary value, that then justified they didn't need to lie. Yeah. They had no, like, why would you lie to the person behind you? You got $20 out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, no, that sucks, dude. Like, good luck.
Yeah. Right? That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting because, like, that was, when was that, 1959?
Yeah. And so when he first came up with the idea, this concept, it was in the early 50s. And then by the late 50s, they actually proceeded to carry out the study. Yeah.
And it's really interesting because in the early 50s, the thing that made him first interested in researching cognitive dissonance was he was studying a cult who believed that UFOs were going to visit them from the planet Clarion and take only the members of the cult away with them before they destroyed Earth. And so when the UFOs didn't come, the leaders said that the leaders explained that the aliens had been so pleased with their faith that Earth had been spared. And so, like, Fessinger and his colleagues kind of came up with the term cognitive dissonance to explain why the cult members became even more devoted to their belief in the aliens after they didn't show up and nothing had actually happened.
What cult was that?
I don't know. I couldn't find...
They didn't say a name?
No, I couldn't find a name.
It's not Heaven's Gate, is it?
I don't think Heaven's Gate was in the 1950s.
Yeah.
I think that was the 90s. Because Heaven's Gate is also the Nike Air One cult, right?
Oh, yeah, so 74. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. I want to know more about the cult now.
Right? We'll just do a separate episode on that cult.
Nothing to do with well-being, just personal interest.
Now I'm curious, though, because it was Clarion UFO cult. When Prophecy Falls. Oh, When Prophecy Fails. That's the book about it. That's the book he wrote about the cult and the thing, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
And it was Truman Beth-Urim is one of the famous men who is with this cult. Interesting. Anyway, that is not important for this episode. So some signs of cognitive dissonance would be general discomfort with no clear source, confusion, feeling conflicted over a disputed subject matter, people saying you're a hypocrite, or being aware of conflicting views and desires and not knowing what to do with them.
Mm-hmm. And some causes of cognitive dissonance include forced compliance. You may need to do things you disagree with as a part of a job, or to avoid bullying or abuse, or to follow the law.
That one's interesting. Because, like, I don't fully understand, like, following the law creating cognitive dissonance.
Think Soviet Union.
Oh, okay, I guess
Think Nazi Germany.
Yes, I was applying it to present-day Canada.
But even then, some people disagree with present-day Canada or even present-day American rules,
true.
Right? Doctors not being allowed to offer abortions and stuff.
Okay, yes. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, like, following the speed limit. and like wearing a seatbelt. Kind of. I wasn't quite thinking murder people because of Hitler. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense. Good thing I'm cute.
I was thinking you married a seatbelt.
Yeah. The law is so much more than just the road. Oh dear. Okay.
Hilarious. Yeah. So another cause could be from certain decision making, right? So deciding between several options that they might not like, or if there's only one option for, I don't know, all sorts of, I can't even think of an good example right now, but like twist my arm, kind of like you have to make this decision. This is the only way you can get out of a certain opinion or situation. Yeah.
And then so like then there's effort. So people tend to value things they work hard for, even if those things contradict a person's values. And people are more likely to view difficult tasks positively, even if they do not morally agree with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that one, the thought that comes to my mind is like, I need to work hard in order to get these things. And if I don't work hard, I can never get these things, or I'm worthless, or like people won't value what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very convoluted, but
I was gonna say, like, I'd say I like fall underneath that, but not from a dissonance. Like I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to work hard, and I feel like I'm not really doing anything if I'm not working hard. Yeah. Okay. But I think that's separate from dissonance. I think that's just me being like having to come to terms with like, no, you're good, girl.
Well, I think what this means is like, if you're like, yeah, no, you need to work hard, and then you don't work hard, but then you feel bad for not working hard because you believe that hard work is the only thing that will get you things. Yeah. That's, I think, where they bring the dissonance into that.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah. Glad we got there. So another option. Not like I wrote the notes.
So another option when it happens is through addiction, right? So you might not want to engage in a certain behavior as an addiction, but it makes you feel good, and that's why you continue to engage in it. And so a good example of this is like smoking. Like a lot of people know that smoking is bad, but because it's addictive, they depend on it, and you use it to as a mood stabilizer, or just something to get you through your day, even though you know there is a correlation with lung cancer.
Yeah. It's just like the knowing that, being addicted to this is harmful. I know that, but I'm still addicted to it. Yeah. That causes mental discomfort.
And keep in mind, addiction goes outside of drugs.
Addiction is,
Yeah, there's food addiction, there's sex addiction, there is stuffed animals addiction. Like, that's where hoarding mentalities also comes into play, too, right? Like, when you see on the show Hoarders, people who are told, like, your house is going to crumble if you add more weight into it. And they're like, I'll die.
Literally.
Right? So
yeah, it's the release of, what is it, like dopamine from whatever it is that you're addicted to make it an addiction.
Yeah. I saw an episode of Hoarders as a side note. Yeah. Where a woman, she didn't want to let go of her cat, so she kept it in the freezer. Like with her food, her dead frozen cat.
Yikes. I can't fully say I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But I know that I have a partner who wouldn't let me. Yeah. And that's good. Yeah. That's very good. Oh my goodness.
I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, oh, Jern. Oh, Jern.
I saw your future.
I was like, a sweet Jern. Please do not.
No, that would creep me out, I think. Because then I'd be afraid that she would haunt my house, or I'd just like find her thawing on the counter or something. Yeah.
Would you taxidermy your cat? Some people are taxidermying their pets so they don't have to get rid of them.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. But I've only thought about that because my grandma, when I was in university, I was living in Halifax, she sent me a care package, and in it was, do you remember those like fake cats that felt like real cats, and they were like curled up, and they were always in like grandparents' homes? She gave me one of those, and I couldn't tell if it was a real or a fake cat.
Oh, my sister had all those like kittens style.
I had to call my mom, and I was like, did my grandma send me a taxidermied cat? And she's like, no, Journey, she wouldn't. I was like, I feel like she wouldn't, but also I don't know. Yeah, oh so goodness. That throughout that I was not keeping.
Good.
So probably not then.
Good.
Okay, next. So another cause of cognitive dissonance is gaslighting. And so that's when someone tries to convince you of something you know isn't true. It can cause that mental discomfort because you're like, I know that isn't true, but why are they telling me that's true? Kind of thing.
And then the last option that we have on our list is new information. So growing up one way and then entering the world where that's not the norm may result in discomfort in your beliefs.
Yeah.
And that can come in all sorts of forms, right? When you talk about people who leave being Amish, for example, is like a really extreme version, but of that.
Yeah.
But even so, like if you grow up religious and then you go to university, that's not religious. Like there are religious universities, and that's why I'm saying like you might not get as big of a shock there. But growing up in like a close-knit, small religious town and then going to a large facility that's like all science, you might feel it then. Very
much so, yeah. Definitely. And so people often experience this as a result of like defense mechanisms such as avoidance, which we get into in the impacts of cognitive dissonance. And so they are just like you would end up living in a state of denial because you don't want to accept that, like, if it's new information, you don't want to accept that that's true. There's also like avoidant behavior. So you're going to avoid triggering negative feelings. So you're going to avoid any new information that makes you feel uncomfortable. Oh yeah. And then you're going to question the validity of new information that contradicts your beliefs. And then you'll have feelings of like low self-worth. If you don't reflect on the cause behind your cognitive dissonance, you're going to continue to feel the lasting discomfort that can affect your self-worth long and short term. And like the impacts aren't all bad because you can also reflect on your beliefs, and this discomfort can force you to reflect and grow, which I think is also important because you can't grow without discomfort. If you never leave your comfort zone, you're never going to grow and change and evolve.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. So what are some examples? As we mentioned above, smoking is a common example of this. Eating meat can be another one. Like if you eat meat but you feel bad for the animals that had to die, like to have the meat, then that can cause some internal wars there. Household chores, like you believe that it's fair and everything should be equal, but like it also might feel like the scale has tipped, or you're like, oh, I have so much, my day's been so full, and you still want me to be the one to clean, cook, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast fashion, like you understand that the ethics behind fast fashion isn't always good as far as like sweatshops and unequal pay works, but you don't really care because it's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's trendy, and so it makes you feel better about yourself, even though you know that the conditions aren't bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't bad. Are bad.
Are bad.
Aren't good. Are bad.
That's the title. Aren't good. Are bad. Oh my gosh.
Communication. Asking people to be honest with you, but then you often tell like half truths to protect someone's feelings.
Yeah. And this isn't the complete list of examples that cause cognitive dissonance. It can be basically anything, really. Cognitive dissonance isn't necessarily bad, but it can cause like stress or unhappiness due to the internal discomfort. And if there's no way to resolve this discomfort, then you can feel powerless or guilty. And if you avoid it and you delegitimize and limit the impact of it, it can result in a person not acknowledging their behavior, which can cause them to harm themselves or others. But it can also be a tool for personal and social change. So by drawing attention to the dissonance between you and your behavior and your values, you can bring attention to the inconsistency between you, and it can help you change. And it's been used a lot with eating disorders. There was one study that this article mentioned, and so by saying things or role-playing behaviors that contradict a person with an eating disorder's beliefs about food and body image, it can create a dissonance, which can then help them remedy their eating disorder and kind of work through their body image issues and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of powerful.
Yeah, that is powerful. Would that be used through therapy? Like, would be therapists be actively...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be like either like... I'm thinking of like Eating Disorders Anonymous, even though I don't know if that's a thing, but like in a group like that...
Yeah.
Where they would kind of...
Well, there's like group counseling and stuff for that. Yeah, group
counseling, yeah. Or even just personal counseling where they're like, okay, well, this, like, you believe this, but this is true.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, to create that little bit of discomfort so they can be like, okay, why does that make me uncomfortable?
Okay.
And explore that a little bit so that they can kind of recognize that how they want to look, or like what the eating disorder is doing to their body is harmful.
Yeah.
Kind of, and realize that food isn't the issue. Like,
yeah.
To not be afraid of it.
Okay.
Which I think is really quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'd be used that a lot of people would say is bad, right? Is like you compare gaslighting under the same topic as healing eating disorders, and it's like, whoa.
Literally. Yeah, because gaslighting can be very much a form of cognitive dissonance, especially if the person who's gaslighting fully believes whatever they're saying. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy.
And so something to note that cognitive dissonance is not the same as hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. Hypocrisy is a voluntary action of behaviors contradicting beliefs or words, while cognitive dissonance is feeling unsettled with this contradiction. Yeah. So a hypocrite, I mean, you might feel like a hypocrite when you're experiencing it, but a hypocrite, like, what was it with love bombing? Like, you might accidentally love bomb, but you're not intentionally love bombing.
It's not the intention behind it.
And so the intention behind this is very comparable to that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, with a hypocrite, they might not feel the discomfort that's an identifier of cognitive dissonance. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But yeah, and so like we've kind of mentioned, it can cause an attitude change in the way that the mental discomfort can result in you wanting to change to reduce that discomfort. Which I think is kind of a good thing, because again, you can't grow inside your comfort zone. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then, so what's its relationship to trauma? Like, is there a relationship with trauma?
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting.
Okay.
So it's related to trauma through the concept of trauma bonding, which I have added to our topic list. Uh-huh. And so it's hypothesized that trauma bonding occurs because of cognitive dissonance. Okay. Which is really interesting. And so trauma bonding is an example of the extremes that an individual will go to in order to reduce inconsistencies between their beliefs and their experiences. Mm-hmm. So they might not believe that this person is capable of doing the things that they are actively doing to them. Yeah. Kind of thing. And so cognitive dissonance in the abuse cycle can make a person focus on their abuser's positive attributes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that makes so sense.
Right?
So sense.
Doesn't it? It was really interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to do an episode on trauma bonding to really explore how that is. And it's actually, yeah, it was just really...
Well, it's the justification, right?
Yeah.
You're doing a mundane task, aka getting abused, and you're being paid $1 for it.
It's like the Stockholm syndrome, right? Yeah. Like, they're actively practicing cognitive dissonance in order to make their experience not as terrible, right? Yeah. And so then the other way it's related to trauma is it's a very common symptom of being in a pathological love relationship, so much so that if there's no cognitive dissonance after the relationship, it's not considered a pathological love relationship to begin with. Yeah. Which is really neat.
So the combination of Stockholm syndrome and cognitive dissonance produces a victim who firmly believes the relationship is not only acceptable but also desperately needed for their survival. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's Stockholm syndrome's like a layer of this. Yeah. Interesting.
Isn't that cool?
I didn't think of it like that until right now, obviously. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Continue.
So that's kind of fancy. And then this whole like pathological love relationship, which is basically pathological love is just love addiction. And it's when healthy feelings of attachment and affection become obsessive and uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. And so like inconsistencies that cause dissonance in a pathological love relationship are like their pathological partners. You thinking, oh, he's good to me versus he's bad to me. The relationship. I feel happy and loved in this relationship versus I feel worthless and miserable in this relationship. It's kind of like two inconsistencies. And then yourself. So I don't tolerate abuse but I'm still here. I'm still in this relationship. So it must not be abuse because I wouldn't stay here for that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
Isn't that like, it was just so fascinating how it's related to
I just never put two and two together.
Yeah.
Because when I learned about cognitive dissonance in second year social psychology, I only think about the study.
Yeah.
I don't think about it in romantic relationships. That's really fun.
Yeah. So that's what I was able to find for its relationship to trauma. And I thought that it's so interesting that like in kind of both of those in those situations, it's like you need this symptom in order for it to be considered XYZ.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Fun. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, and to continue then, to note, it's also not a mental illness. Mm-hmm. So cognitive dissonance, comparable to imposter syndrome, it's not a mental like DSM disorder. Mm-hmm. However, it can cause or lead to DSM problems, depression, anxiety, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Because of its impact on your psyche.
Yeah, definitely.
And so if you're having a difficult time like stopping a behavior or a thinking pattern, you should like seek help with it.
Definitely.
Or vice versa, if you have, as we learned above, tier.
Yeah. If you just got out of a traumatic, abusive relationship or something, definitely, yeah, I would recommend seeking help from either a doctor or a therapist.
Yeah.
Or both. But it's also, it's different from confirmation bias. However, it can lead to confirmation bias because of how it impacts your preferences. Mm-hmm. And so confirmation bias is when you interpret new information in a way that fits your existing belief. And so with cognitive dissonance, if you feel uncomfortable with something that challenges your existing belief, you're just going to ignore that and you're going to look for something that doesn't make you feel uncomfortable about your existing belief. Mm-hmm. Therefore leading to confirmation bias. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one other thing I want to talk about here is perception theory. Mm-hmm. So perception theory is used when those original attitudes are ambiguous and less important. It's the idea that people become aware of certain attitudes by observing their own behavior, whereas cognitive dissonance accounts for the attitude and changes when people's behaviors are inconsistent with their original attitudes, which are clear and important to them.
Yes. Yeah, so basically the difference with that one is like how important your beliefs are you. Mm-hmm. Are to you. Oh my gosh.
How important your beliefs are you aren't good. Good, bad.
Belly.
Oh my goodness.
That being said, both perception theory and cognitive dissonance can result in changing of your attitude.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
C.
And so lastly, we just kind of have ways to reduce it. Mm-hmm.
So one of the most effective ways is to make sure that your actions are aligned with your values and vice versa. Mm-hmm. You can do this by...
changing your actions.
Trying to take us out. You got it.
All right. You can do this by changing your actions. So changing your behavior so that it matches your beliefs to get rid of that discomfort. Mm-hmm. You can change your thoughts. So if you're behaving in a way that contradicts your belief, you might question how important that belief is to you. And you can also add new beliefs that align better with your actions. Mm-hmm. And then you can also change your perception of the action. So if you can't or don't want to change the behavior or beliefs that cause dissonance, you need to review the behavior, or you need to view the behavior differently. Mm-hmm. So you kind of need to change your thinking around that action, I guess.
It's a lot of self-reflection.
It really is. And it's so interesting how powerful it is. And like, I feel like a lot of us are cognitively dissonant about so many things. Mm-hmm. That we might not even realize it, right?
Well, this topic came onto our list because you said you experienced it quite often, or you had quite emotional experiences with it.
Well, even like with work.
Yeah.
Like I was getting paid $1 to do the work, and I was coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, it's positive because why would I stick around for that?"
Yeah.
If it wasn't actually good, and then working to convince myself that I do like it, right? Yeah. And I still say I love the job. It just wasn't the best place for me, but how much of that is
Yeah.
And with the half-truth things, too. Like, a lot of my friends are like, oh, but you'll tell me if this is wrong, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely, 100%.
That's me. I'm that friend.
But if I feel like it's something that's so important to you and you absolutely love the way that is, but I hate it, I'm not going to tell you that I hate it, because it's more important to me that you like it than if I do.
Okay.
Like, if it's an outfit that you love and you feel so confident in and you think it's great and you're like, well, what do you think about it? And it's just not something that's my taste. I'm not going to tell you that it's not my taste.
Well, I hope you would say that.
Because...
But I'm a unique case here, right?
Because what good does it do for me to tell you that I don't like that? Because then it makes you self-conscious about something that you love so much.
Hypothetically, though...
That's how it's worked in past experiences.
Yeah, and I can see where that would happen in not all relationships. In this personal experience case, I expect my friends to tell me if something is like off. Yeah. And if I really love it, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to be like, oh, I know you don't like this, but that's not going to stop me from wearing this outfit. Yeah. Thank you for your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And if it is something like that, it's like, well, why would you need to ask for the opinion in the first place? If you can already like guess that, right? Yeah. But
no, so I can see why that would be an issue. Okay. So I think about that exact example there. Wedding dress shopping.
Yeah.
The emotion and pressure that's put on wedding dress shopping. Right. That people are so quick to disregard their own wants, needs to impress mother-in-law, sister-in-law, mom, grandma. Yeah. Why? For what?
Yeah, because, it's just one of those things.
It's your day. You're going to look back on the photos. If you loved it, you loved it.
Exactly. But they don't want to disappoint their family. Yeah. Which is so silly, because then it adds another layer to it of who do you bring wedding dress shopping with you?
So, I've been thinking about that. I'm so not even remotely close to getting married, okay? Yeah. I've got years before that will possibly happen, right? I need a relationship first. Yeah, definitely. That's step one.
We need to take a step before we can walk a mile.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on Earth, that is Mars. As I said in another episode, Ambitions.
To build a whole ass rocket ship before we can get there.
I've half been thinking, because I watch a lot of Say Yes to the Dress. I almost want to go alone and surprise everyone. Yeah. I want to get ready alone. I want to go shopping alone.
Oh, that would be fun.
And I want the reveal to be when I'm walking down the aisle.
Yeah. That would be fun. I don't know if I could do that personally.
I know.
I think you could do that.
But that's a personality difference, right? But I almost am like, I know, I've been thinking about that again, because all my friends are getting married and and they're all domesticated and settled down. Yeah. But I think it would be so fun to just do like a grand reveal, because I know what I want, and at the end of the day I know that if I go shopping and grandma hates the dress, I'm gonna be like, thanks for the opinion, I'm buying this dress.
And see, that's the thing, I'm gonna go with probably my mom, because that's just an experience that you want to do with your mom, and then a few of my closest best friends. Right? Yeah. So probably you, because I know you're going to tell me how it is.
Okay, and that's why my friend brought me on hers. I was like, your chest looks amazing. And her mom is like, why are you obsessed with her chest? I'm like, well, she's got good. Yeah, she's got big boobs. She's got big boobs. They don't want to be in her ears.
Your tits out for the girls.
I'm like, she looks delicate and dainty.
Literally.
For having huge boobs. Like, that's a good thing.
That's what you want. Yeah. Yeah. And so then, I'd like bring a couple of my closest friends. And I think I would do that because I know what I want. And I would go and I would try on these dresses and blah, 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 whatever. And then for like the fitting or whatever, that's when I would bring like my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my sister, and like a little bit more people. Okay. To reveal before and be like, this is what it is. Okay. And just so that we can also have that special moment with them as well.
So they can feel like involved prior to the wedding.
Yes.
Okay.
But not
in the main
necessarily giving their opinion beforehand.
You're not allowed to change my mind.
Yes.
However,
this is what it is. Yeah. It is a privilege that you get to see it before the wedding. Yeah. Like.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think I would like to do.
No, I love surprises.
I know.
I love surprising friends. I love... I don't know. I might just... Well, because, again, another thing, personal circumstance. Mm-hmm. My mom will say anything looks good on me. She doesn't have an opinion. Mm-hmm. She is very neutral. She is very supportive. I can dump my entire emotions on her and she's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, Okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm like, love you. But when it comes to an opinion, she'll be like, oh, that looks great. Oh, that looks great too. Oh, that looks fantastic. Whatever you want. So I'm just going to skip that whole aspect.
Literally.
Do it myself.
Yeah.
I might change my mind by the time I actually get engaged and whatnot. But I've been thinking about that. I'm like, that would be really fun to just do like one grand reveal. Surprise everyone.
That's so fun. Well, and the thing I really want to bring Bryce wedding dress shopping. Yeah. Because he knows what looks best on me, and he has such a good sense of style. And so, and he's going to tell me, okay, that looks bad. And I know that he's not like being mean about that. He's like looking out for me in a sense that way. But
so
I'm
he's like me in a way, but yeah.
And so like, oh, does this look good? And also I value his opinion. Like, hopefully he's the one who sees me walking down the aisle and it like,
yeah.
But I can't do that because that's not conventional.
I mean, it depends on how conventional you want to be.
Rather conventional.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So then you just make sure Bryce tells someone in your party things that he's looking for.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you think would look good on me?
Yeah.
And you have to give me an honest answer.
Yeah. And then you shop from there.
Yeah. Because, I don't know.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, that's the wrap up on that for us.
And so for our segment, I found like a BuzzFeed, not like quiz thing, but quiz on correctly identify all of these Canadian slang words to prove how local you are.
Okay.
And so basically it gives us like a statement or whatever, and we have to guess the Canadian slang word, but there's not like options. We have to give it and see if we're like correct. Yeah. So I think it'll be kind of fun. Okay. So I want to start with the word that means kilometer an hour. Is that clicks?
It's clicks, yeah.
Okay. How does one spell clicks? Like actually how it spells, or like KILKS?
I thought it was CL, but it could be click because for kilometer.
Yeah, it's not.
Like 30 clicks.
Clicks.
I was going yes. 160 clicks.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And then there's obvious one, like a word that means a dollar coin.
A loony.
Yeah.
Well, it may not be obvious for everyone.
Oh, that's true, I guess.
If you're Canadian, it should be obvious.
Loony. Correct. Mm-hmm. Word that means a knit hat.
It's a toque.
What's a toque?
Or, yeah, toque.
TOQUE.
Yeah.
Toque. Oh, they spell toque TUQUE.
I think it's Quebecois versus English, and I think the toque itself is Quebecois.
Oh, interesting.
I think that's where that one comes from.
A phrase that means 2 cream, 2 sugar.
Double, double.
Double, double. Oops. If I could spell. Yep. A word that means utilities bill.
Ooh.
What?
Utilities specific?
Yeah. Utilities bill.
I can't think of it, but I know once I show it, I'm
Is
gonna be
it like energy? Like an energy bill?
I would just say
electricity bill.
I don't really specify bills.
Yeah. I give up. What is it? Hydro.
No, but the hydro again.
Like a hydro bill? That's water.
Hydro specific.
Yeah.
I mean, hydro is power and water in certain places. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would. Interesting. That was not obvious to me.
No. Oh, there was one that I wanted to see if the answer was hoser. Where was that one? Word that means an unsophisticated person. Hoser. How do you spell hoser?
H-O-S-E-R.
Correct. I had it 2 O's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hoser.
Hoser.
What a hoser.
What a hoser. Okay, phrase that means beer belly.
Beer gut? Dad bod?
No, not beer gut.
I think that was too obvious. What?
Dad bod?
Got a gut?
Got a gut. A Molson muscle.
No, I would not call that.
I would not I've never heard that. I don't think I've
ever heard that one.
Word that means a flask. Like, just a flask?
Yeah, I would just call it a flask.
What's a Mickey?
Is that what they mean a flask is? Mickey's more than a flask. Mickey's...
Mickey is something else. Oh, yeah. That's correct.
It's not a flask.
No.
A Mickey is way bigger than a flask.
Yeah.
A Mickey is a half of a... It's... Math. 750 mils is... Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on liquor?
Why are you looking at me? I don't drink.
Large liquor bottle, not a 2.4. I'm thinking beer for that.
Yeah.
2.6.
A 2.6.
A Mickey is half of a 2.6.
So it's 1.3.
Yeah, but Mickey.
Yeah.
A 2.6 is like a 750 milliliter like alcohol bottle.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And then a Mickey is half of that.
So 750 is what? 3 something. Mickey milliliter is 375 milliliters. Is that an average flask?
No, because when I think of a flask, I think of something that you tuck in like a coat pocket.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you can tuck a Mickey of Fireball in your snow pants. Been there, done that. But
yeah.
I would not. I have a flask as like a container.
A flask is like only holds 8 ounces.
Yeah. So when I think of flask, I think of like.
Yeah, like a little.
The person at a funeral who has a secret alcohol problem sneaking it out of their coat jacket or something. Like that's what I picture for flask. I don't think it's
I don't think of it as a Mickey.
A Mickey's what it's called actually. Correction, BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Isn't BuzzFeed American?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's BuzzFeed Canada, BuzzFeed US, I think.
Yeah.
But this is .com.
Interesting.
I don't know.
They got it wrong.
A word that means Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
RCMP.
RCMP. No. Oh, Mountie.
Mounties.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mounties. Word that means soda.
Pop.
Soda pop. Take it to the candy shop. Word that means shoes for athletics.
Sneakers.
Or is it runners?
Runner. It could be.
It's not sneakers.
This must be runners.
Yep. A word that means summertime icy treat.
Slushy.
Oh. I was thinking... Oh, it's not slushy.
Freezy.
Oh, maybe. A shaved ice... Snow cone. Oh, no, it's freezy.
Yeah, because I was like, snow cone's more American.
Yeah.
In my mind, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm thinking like 7-Eleven slush Slurpee, slushy, or freezy.
Yeah. Okay, word that means large parking lot.
Large parking garage.
Oh, sorry, large parking garage.
Parkade.
Yeah.
Either that or shop, but that's.
Oh, it is parkade. Oh, Mia.
Introducing Mia.
This is my cat.
She hasn't been on.
She gets really needy when we're in here for too long, so she meows outside the door. A phrase that means turn left while driving.
No idea.
Turning left?
Yeah.
Jeez, I've got no clue.
No idea. Next one's turning right.
Oh.
Oh, these are old phrases. I don't know this.
What are they?
For the right is hang a Roger.
Oh, and then left is hang a Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. I did know that.
I did not. I never use that.
A word that means someone who's a tryhard.
I'd say try hard.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, keener.
Makes sense.
A word that means someone from Canada.
A Canuck.
Oh.
Were you very Canadian?
Yeah. Well, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
That's not slang.
Oh my gosh. The first comment is Mickey isn't a flask. It's a 375 milliliter of liquor.
Exactly. They got that wrong. It's not a flask is like, yeah, I don't know. A flask is a flask. It's a small container.
Yeah. And they must have had a misprint on here because the second comment is like, it's not the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they must have had it as Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then one up here is like a 20, one that we missed is 24 bottle case of beer. It's a 2.4.
It's a 2.4.
Just like large alcohol is a 2.6. And then there's a Mickey. I said that to some of my European friends in Finland.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like I was a psycho.
Really?
They're like, oh, like, what do you got? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to get a Mickey of Mintu. And they're like, a what of Mintu? I was like, oh, like the small bottle.
You get a little.
I'm just going to get a little bit of alcohol.
That's funny. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all for our segment. If you guys thought we were dumb with our guesses, let us know. Or let us know if there's any that you knew, or if there's any different slangs for those words in your country.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun.
So fun. Mm-hmm. Anyways, if you like us or if you like the episode, give us a like. Give us a rating, a review, a comment, all the fun stuff. Mm-hmm. For socials, I'm Mak Joy.
I'm Mak Jubes.
We are Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps on all social media platforms. Yes. And our website is sometimesciabattaslaps.com. It's where we post all of our episodes, episode links, and eventually we will be posting our book club reviews on there. We have our guests on there.
Yes.
And everything you really need to know about us will be on there.
Yeah. It's basically, you can find everything.
Any form of partnerships and whatnot coming, that will be all in there as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. If you made it to the end, we love ya.
We love ya.
Hope you're having a great day.
Enjoy your week and your weekend and do something fun for yourself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.